Hi, welcome to the League-Kempner House in Galveston. I'm Janie, and I'm the president of the nonprofit that was set up to preserve and restore this amazing house here in Galveston, Texas. I'm standing here by one of our many Christmas trees that were done by our wonderful volunteer, Wendy, for the holidays. We have really enjoyed them. The year is wrapping up. There's been a lot going on. I will be doing a final wrap-up video later. But today I've got a couple of disjointed things for you. The first is a product that was sent to me for review. And the second is a quick update at McNatt Construction on our Parlor window situation here, something that we've been waiting a long time for. And if you're new and don't know what that is, that area was heavily damaged, and it has these incredible curved glass windows. So because it's curved, reconstructing the window frames to put these in is very complicated. It involves a lot of math and geometry, and there's several previous videos about these windows that you can look at. But today I'm going to head over to McNatt's shop and just see what the status is. Walter is over doing his work. Joe is outside scraping, and since I am still a little laid up with my foot and can't do a lot, I thought I would catch up on something I needed to do a long time ago, and that is open this box. Months and months and months ago, I commented when Ricardo and his guys were doing the concrete in the basement that I loved their laser level, that I wished I had one. And Frank with Moreland House sent me an email where he had gotten a solicitation based on a YouTube channel for someone to send a laser level basically as a product demo to try it out and feature it in a video. And lo and behold, about 3 days later, I got the same email directly. And I haven't replied to any of those types of emails and done any product placement, but I really wanted a laser level. So I thought, why not? So I replied and they sent it, and we committed to use it in a video. And I just haven't had a good place to use it. But I thought, now that we're moving down to do the rest of that foundation in the basement, it'd be a great time to unbox this thing and see how it works and just let y'all experience it real time with me. So this company, I apologize for not being able to pronounce, is Lasgoo, I think, Lasgoo, and this is their laser level model LG30. So I'm going to open it up and just see how it works and how user friendly it is. And I think it's on Amazon. I'll check that out later and let you know if I like it or not. So it actually comes in a very nice case. Let's see what I've got in here. It's a Target. Maybe I should read the instruction book. The user manual. Let's see what all my components are here. Battery. Looks like a rechargeable battery pack. Looks like 2 rechargeable battery packs. I don't know if it needs them both at the same time or not. Oops. Something I just broke. Oh man, okay, that's in here tight. Obviously you can't pull on that because that just came out. I don't know if I have the hand strength for this. It just pulls out. Okay, there it is. Some kind of base for it. Charging cable. Just have a little finger slots to reach in and grab it. Again, hand strength is not my forte. Goodness. Okay. I'm getting it slowly but surely. Okay, there it is. So this is a big model. Looks like it's got 3 different lasers, so it can shoot side to side and up at the same time. This is where the battery pack goes. It looks like the contacts are inside. I don't know if it's charged or not. I guess I need to read the instructions. But that's simple enough. I'm going to turn it on. Oh, it does work. So that was very simple. Insert the battery and turn it on. And I'm assuming it self-levels. No, it does not. It's got several buttons on here, so I'm going to turn it off and read the instruction manual a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to have to get my glasses. Okay, I have read through the manual for it. It was very straightforward and easy. It started out with safety, laser safety. I thought some of those were pretty self-explanatory. Do not operate in an explosive atmosphere. Don't use optical tools such as a telescope to view the laser. Don't stare into the laser. Don't point it at someone's eyes and turn it off when it's not in use. All of these are pretty simple. And the operation of it is very simple. It just has an on-off switch on the side, a mode switch, so you can operate 1, 2, or all 3 of the lasers at once. That's very intuitive also. And I thought this was a very interesting feature. It's self-leveling. So you have to put it on a flat surface, but it doesn't have to be completely level. You can be within 4 degrees and it will self-level. And if you exceed that 4 degrees, the laser beam will flash to let you know that it's not working properly. So that's very easy. It also came with this handy thing, which can screw onto a tripod or another stand, and you can mount the laser level on it with the screw to secure it. And it's got a magnet on the back, so you can stick it on any kind of a metal wall, or it's got a hole here where you could hang it on a nail or a screw on the wall if you didn't have a magnetized wall. So if you were leveling something higher up in the room, you wouldn't have to sit and hold the level. You could get it in a stationary place. So overall, I haven't seen it in operation yet, but it appears to be very well made. The case is definitely well made and will protect the components. It's a nice material. It also comes with a target, which I haven't read how to use the target yet, but I don't think I need that. I'm going to use Joe's legs as a target in a second outside. So I'm going to take it outside and give it a shot in the yard where we have that problem of the hump in the soil from our kind of temporary retention pond to where we need it to flow out to the yard. I'm going to see how high that hump needs to come down. So let's go check it out.
Okay, I just heard use my legs as a target and shot.
Not your eyes, not your eyes, your legs.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
So I'm going to set the laser up, shoot it that way. We need something for the laser to bounce off of, so we're going to use Joe's legs. So I'm going to set it up, turn it on, and send her down there in the laser beam. Stay there. Just, yeah, stay right there. Let me see if it'll see you first. Okay, stay right there. Stay right there. Oh, I see it. It's not strong enough in the daylight. All right, so this isn't going to work in the daylight in this application. No, so I'm going to go check it out in the basement. Okay, before I can go in the basement, I have to get my boot protected.
I'm just filming this because it's funny. Of course, now I'll feel bad if you fall.
I'm not gonna fall because I have to do one leg at a time. No, you'll fall because you're not paying attention.
I'm
and
walking.
you're
I'm
filming
looking at
me.
my feet. I'm
Are
not
you?
looking at the
Are you
camera.
really?
Yes. See, look. I will point the camera at my feet. There's
If you
my feet.
fall, I'm not going to feel bad because you did it to yourself. Okay, this is darker, so this will be better. Okay. I'm going to go over there because that is the level that we need to pour the concrete to. So this is where we want the floor to be. Yikesies. Oh, okay. I need the, oh, don't put it in your eyeball.
I'm not putting it in my eyeball. My eyes are closed.
Okay. Yeah, because we're only going off the bottom. So let me come get it and show something here real quick.
Of course, right when I said the word eyeball, I opened my eyes.
Yeah, don't stand on that up and down line.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to go push the mode button because it has,
I'll stand here.
the technology.
I'll stand here with my eyes closed.
I'm going to turn the vertical one
so you won't blind
off.
me.
Okay, there.
Okay.
I turned it off. So that is,
I am standing on kind of a little hump right here.
it doesn't matter because the line is the line.
Okay.
So the line on your pants is the line coming from here. We are looking for a board to level without, look over there, there's some short guys on the floor. Watch your step.
This one might be a little narrow. Let me see if I can get a thicker one.
Did you see the big coyote tracks or whatever they are?
No. Oh, very cool.
And that looks more raccoony.
I was going to say, that's a raccoon right there.
But that is
that one is not.
Coyote, dog-like. And I think they just squeeze in through that opening over there. And hopefully they didn't make a den in here. They're not sleeping somewhere.
They're not as cute as the possum.
Now that we have it set up properly on self-leveling, you can see that we have got it set on some boards to get the line up to the height of the existing concrete slab that is not coming out. And you can follow that line around, and you can see it's just about a 1/4 inch below the slab, so you can see the line, that bright green line. So we'll actually have to take a little bit of dirt out over here because we need 4 inches of slab, so they'll be able to use that as a marker. And come in, the first step will be to clean up all the mess down here, and then to rake all this flat and smooth, and then see how much and where they need additional fill dirt. And the slab is just slightly higher over here, but that's okay. Where Joe is standing is like a wall into the apartment, and I'm kind of filming from the closet, so a lot of this will be covered with a wall and building, but we do need to make sure that we have a very smooth, gentle sloping transition, because this is a walkway right through here in the gift shop. But it is very interesting to see, and now that we have it set properly, we do need to add, oops, I'm stepping on my bag. We probably do need to add a row of brick around here before they pour the foundation, because it looks like we're just barely going to make it on this side. So I need to call Ricardo. There's a little bit of work to do down here. We'll be taking out these temporary braces to pour the foundation, and there's a little bit of beam work to do. The floor does hold with these gone. It's kind of a better safe than sorry situation. We propped it up, but it's come down several times and the floor holds, but we do need to add another sister joist on one side and get some lag bolts or lag screws in there and get that done. So maybe before we pour the foundation, I'll get Ricardo in to do that. Add 2 or 3 more rows of brick on this and get things ready for the concrete guys. And I'm going to go look on Amazon and see what this thing cost. It's the lunch hour. My great lunch. I've overindulged in the holiday season, but I've looked this up online and I need to make a correction. I held up the box and said it was an LG 30. That is actually a D. If you look real close, it's got a perpendicular edge and a slightly rounded edge. So it's the LG 30. It is on Amazon. Oh. Thank you, Joe. The LG 3D, if you want to look that up. It is on Amazon for $139. There, it looks like there's a slightly newer model that comes with a remote. And I did not read this in the manual, but the rechargeable batteries give you 20 hours of operation, which is great. So when they're doing that concrete job down there, you saw on the chauffeur side that they left that laser going through the entire job so that they could always see where that line was. So they might need 8 to 10 hours at a stretch with the laser working full time. So that gives them plenty of battery life and backup power. It's very highly rated on Amazon. It's got, let's see, mostly 5 stars, 4.5 stars on value, ease of use, accuracy, and brightness. That one switch that I was playing around with was a dim setting and a bright setting, and then the mode setting where you could turn each of these on and off individually. So you can only use what you need to use. So I am very happy with it. I would like to thank the company for sending it to me. It is certainly something that's going to come in handy. Thank you very much to Lasgu, and I hope I am pronouncing that correctly, for our fancy laser level. I'm going to actually put it back carefully in the case. I'm usually pretty bad with tools. I throw the cases away because they're bulky, but this is more of a precision instrument. It needs to stay clean, it needs to stay protected, so we will use our case. And as I said, it's a very nice case. So with that, I'm going to head over now in the video to McNatt Contracting, and we're going to take a look at our parlor windows. I'm back today with Ben and Josh looking at kind of the status of those windows. And oops, I asked Ben if he could talk about some of the problems. And what was your response?
Yeah, that's just one after another.
There's nothing but problems.
Not in a bad way, I would say.
But this is exciting. So this window is kind of staged to show how it works and some of the issues. And I shouldn't say staged because y'all are doing this to what, fit the windows.
Yeah, and to make sure as we actually get it in on the property that when we set it in place, it's going to function, go up and down. It is just going to be single hung, so the top won't function. It'll just be in place, but at least so make sure that our weather stripping detail is like we want on the window, but also on the stop here, which is, you can kind of, I don't know if you can kind of see from that side, but
yeah, just to kind of refresh you guys,
hidden,
these windows, they're difficult because one, this glass in here is curved, so everything is curved. So these side, what would you call this piece?
Just
I know there's like a lot of parts
the
to
side,
the window.
We would call the side of the frame, but you could call it a jamb.
But they're not parallel. They're not straight. They actually flare out to fit that curve, and you can see kind of at the bottom how instead of coming out straight, they sit at this angle for the window. So it's a little tricky. And initially, I know y'all weren't going to bring a sash down here. Yeah, just the risk of moving the glass. But
then as we started cutting any of the pieces or assembling them and disassembling them, reassembling them back and forth to see how they were working, I started going, well, the real difficulty is that if you're pulling a distance from here to here that's straight, that's a little bit different than the curve difference. And then exactly where does the window hit and touch down here? And without an actual sash here to push it up against the stops and kind of get it into place.
It's a little difficult to tell. Well, and this so this is called the sash, the part that holds the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all remember from the earlier video, it was very damaged and falling apart.
Yeah.
So it needed to be fixed anyway. So did y'all?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't get to come film that.
No, actually, I had some. I think I had taken some photos of it.
Did y'all have to like
but
tear the whole thing apart?
If you can see from the side here, you see how that looks. That still looks old, right?
Mm-hmm. So this piece.
Mm-hmm. That's a tenon that we put in there.
That comes off here.
And those were gone on both sides.
So they were missing
and
or rotted.
Yeah. So what we did was I had some old salvaged pieces of cypress that matched the same era of this, and we'd just cut out a new mortise on this side, glued in the tenon on this piece, and then reassembled it so the tenon is now holding that joint together.
So it's basically like a big rectangular peg that comes back into this piece, sticks out, and slides into a slot over here. But that's nice that you used old wood. So it's a new repair, but the wood is old to match the period.
I try to do that.
House.
Yeah, try to do that when we can, just so the expansion contraction's the same. You don't have anything. The real interesting thing about these originally is they were all just kind of put together, and a wedge was tapped in there to tighten them up. No glue, no nails. I mean, just basically two little bitty wedges.
So you just
was holding the whole window together.
Pulled the wedge out and it came apart.
That's it. Just popped it right apart. So because of how much this was damaged, in that we were trying to fill it a little bit with the epoxies that we were using, we weren't really able to go back with that same system, just because I didn't think it would hold. You can also see in here that over the epoxy, then we were using the Abatron filler to kind of make up where some of that damaged wood was on that side. I know
y'all use that on the door at the Lucas Apartments. This is a specialty kind of two-part, right?
Abatron's I believe the company that makes it, and you paint on something that soaks in and reconsolidates the wood first, and then you come behind that with a filler that's a lot more like the wood versus a real hard or a real soft filler.
Yeah, and if y'all remember, those of you that have been with us all the time, I used that Abatron hardener down in the basement where the termites had really eaten up a wall, and so to try to save the wood and not have to replace it on the back side of that beadboard, I used a ton of that stuff to soak into the wood. And actually there was a structural engineer that I had a beam I thought I might have to replace the end, and he said nope, just pour that Abatron hardener on it, and it's actually structurally
You hate to say filler because people think you say filler,
right?
That's how you junkify something, right?
Yes, but this is
actual structural. It holds its integrity even in a beam, which is pretty surprising. Really. There's some more.
And this is all going to be painted. This window was originally painted. It will still be painted. You can see that the hardener right here where it's dried.
Yeah.
That two-part epoxy hardener. So that will just be sanded. And
that'll all clean up. That'll all clean up real nice.
It's there. Let's look at the side real quick. So a lot of times you see these screwed in and nailed and all kinds of stuff going on with the chains, but it's really designed to sit in this hole with either a peg.
Yeah, I think this other side is a little more intact over here.
Yeah, so you do have one little screw in there.
Yeah, just to
holding it and just tacking it in place, not to support it, but really it's held in that slot with this coil of wire. And again, this is all about being able to dismantle and repair.
Yeah.
These were made to be fixed over and over and over again. I hate it when people rip out old windows and put in new
Fix it for
vinyl
another
windows,
100 years.
because this did stand for 130. No, yeah, 130
Yeah.
years, and you can see it's still
And I think
pretty
with the
sound.
proper maintenance, somebody will get another 100 out of it.
So the pulleys, those are new brass
Those are, yeah.
pulleys.
Those by a company, SRS Hardware, which is one of the few that still make a really high quality, solid brass. I don't want to call it replica hardware necessarily, but something that looks the same age as the original
And
stuff.
ours were too far gone and were not functional.
Mm.
And this chain, is that a stainless or is that
That
just
is, yeah.
So this is stainless. It's not copper, but it's not regular steel that will rust. This will be a lifetime product also. And everything in Galveston is about being corrosion resistant and saltwater proof.
Yeah, you see the brass on a lot of them. We'll have the old brass chains, but that brass chain is probably, I don't know, it may be $1,000 for 100 foot.
Ooh, well,
You know, it's
that's a little out of compared to the stainless is how much?
The stainless would probably be somewhere between like a third
of that.
maybe.
So we'll go.
So
with
it's still a really
stainless.
good product because it's going to last for a very long time, but you save a little bit versus the brass anyway.
So you are putting a weather stripping, I see. You could see on this here. People also complain about these windows being drafty, but when they're snugged up and tight, they're really not.
A lot of ones we've done, we've even had people say that they heard a lot less street noise and everything. You know, once you get them sealed up well and they're working nicely, that even the sound intrusion isn't the same on the
Well, and if you look at the
windows,
design, the way these are designed, even the latches are designed to snug the windows together. It doesn't just latch it, it pulls them together tight to create a seal if they're maintained well and fit right. So that one's almost ready. What is it missing? What do you have left to do on it?
On this window, a few of the places where we have some of this filler, we'll actually smooth this down. You know, within reason. There's still old paint. We're not going to take all the old paint off or anything, but we'll smooth all that out a little bit. And then eventually this sash will need to, we'll reglaze it. Just put some Sarco glazing in there.
I may actually come pick that up and strip it and go ahead and get it primed.
The window? Yeah.
Before it gets glazed, just to make it easier.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got the glass, you said, safely stored in the office.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, in the corner. Do not touch.
Do not touch.
And then you can see we have a kind of a temporary piece on the top there to kind of hold us at the right distance up there. It's one of the things we're working on, making sure everything's going to work right. That way the top piece
this goes on top.
Yeah.
And this is such beautiful wood.
Sipo. Yeah. And so that'll get cut, and you kind of see the line up there a little bit with where the top of the. So we're a little bit long on these boards, but we'll also probably leave the horns on them, leave them a little long anyway.
What's a horn? I'll have to ask.
It would just be where, like, you'd have a sill piece, or you'd have any piece to the jamb where it's hanging over
a little bit.
A lot of times people just call that the horn.
The horn.
But especially at the top, like
so will you wait until you put it in to see if that needs trimming, or?
Yeah, or sometimes it just gets left in there because you don't really need to cut it off, and it adds a little bit of integrity to leave it. On there, and sometimes the trim can actually get nailed to it as well. So
you can see here, this is what they were going by, the original piece, and just how damaged it was.
I think that was the best of the three.
It had a horn. I think it was the only one of the three. This is where the stops or whatever for the shutters were. So this has been their pattern.
There you go.
They're just putting a temporary stop on the back to test raising and lowering this sash in the window to make sure everything is lined up properly.
I don't know.
And they've just got some clamps on it, clamping it
That
there.
one didn't. Looks like I cut it too long. Here.
No, yeah, it'd be fine. It doesn't really matter that up there as much.
So basically everything will get set up here in the shop. Then they'll take apart what they need to transport it to the house. And then do a final assembly on site when they hang the window. So right now they're just getting the length of the chain correct. I know y'all came back to the house once and measured on our existing windows how far down the pulleys were, just so when you glance across the room, everything looks even and balanced. That's how precise they are. I don't know that I would have even thought to do that because you can't see these windows from the other windows.
And if we, and hopefully that all works out if we've modified too much stuff.
But we'll take precise. And these weights are just made out of lead. And if you think heavy, you should see the ones, well, y'all probably helped move them. The ones that came off the stained glass windows, they're super heavy.
Yeah, there's a few places that still make them with cast. A lot of times we've made them with bar stock when we don't have ones to match. We'll make them with actual steel. But a lot of times that's if we've modified the glass to add 1/4-inch laminated glass or something.
It's heavier.
You're changing the weight of everything, so you have to add more weight. And it's hard, sometimes it's hard to find exactly the size weight that you need. Yeah. So, all said and done. Obviously too long.
Oh, do that again. Let me show them. So here's what happens if they're too long.
Yeah.
Bonk. Yeah.
It's gonna, and the your weights are, if I remember correctly, I think I may even have it written down somewhere, but they're probably
Longer.
Yeah, they're probably twice that length. So
shorten the chain.
We may even need to hang one closer to here. But once we have the pocket cut in it, and everything's on site, you'll be able to adjust the length of the chain through the pocket there too.
So are you putting a pocket in here?
Yes.
To reach the chain?
Yeah.
So some windows have that, some windows don't. Some, and what he's talking about is there's usually sometimes an opening on this side. So when you raise the window, you can remove the cover and get the weight. So if the weight, and it's usually put in right at the top of the weight here. So if this chain breaks and this falls to the bottom, you can open it and access this hole to get a new chain on there without having to take all of the trim molding off your window. So they did try to think of everything when they designed these windows.
Yeah, I was so you can see how some of the pieces are going to go together. Obviously, the spring back on some of these is more than others. Once you bent them and let them sit around a little bit. But that would be the top piece. Would mimic what we have on the side over here. And then that's just the fun bit because that's the curve.
Pretty part on top.
Yeah. Which, believe it or not, takes a lot longer than the straight piece.
Really? Before you run off.
What am I doing?
Estimated installation date. The EID.
2 more weeks.
April Fool's. No, it's not April Fool's.
Very soon.
Well, like I've said before, it's been open for 2.5 years. Another month is not going to make or break us.
it's no trade secret that we had to make sure these were acclimated to the environment.
But they're
Yeah. Yeah.
that's your story. That's your story, and you're sticking to it, huh? They're well adjusted to the environment. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Y'all do fabulous, fabulous work.
We have a privilege to be able to work on some of this stuff because some people only wish they could work with mahogany or work with structures that are this old, or we get to do it all as far as the woodworking, and see some of these places slowly come back to their glory days, as it were. But
oh yeah, and speaking of,
I think Josh and I were saying earlier, it doesn't get any better than this. We got good weather today. He's picking up some stuff, learning some stuff on the windows as we go, especially one like this.
one like this, this is a tough one to learn on.
And get to do something we enjoy.
Yeah.
Working with the people we work with, you can't ask for a lot more.
But this looks great. I'm going to get out of your hair and let y'all get to working on them.
That's it. Get back to it, Josh.
And hopefully in the new year, we'll get to see you guys putting them in.
Yeah, it's almost 2024, right?
That's right. Yeah, in January will be 3 years since I bought it.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Time flies.
Maybe it seems like that long to you, but
time flies when you're doing gross back-breaking labor.
All right. The story behind the fireplace mantel is in 1999. We were working on the old Galveston Custom House on the corner of 20th and Post Office, and the architect on the project, David Watson, came up to me, and he had a black and white photo from the 1950s, and it was of the fireplace that was original to the Custom House, made out of soapstone. And he asked me, he says, "Can you build one of these?" And out of wood. And I said, "Sure." And he goes, "Good, I need 2." So we took the photograph and we scaled it, and we made 2 of these that were on either side of the courthouse, and they were in there for a very long time. Once GHF sold the building, the next owner took them out, and he turned the courtroom into an apartment. So these were this I don't know where the other one was. This was sitting outside on the curb. And one of my old co-workers called me, and he said, "John, your fireplace mantel is sitting on the curb." He goes, "Do you want it back?" And I said, "Yeah." So he picked it up and he brought it back. That was probably 3 years ago. And then we are now the contractor on the Custom House. And we're going to be able to take this, which has been sitting in storage in the back of my shop for the last 3 years, and we're going to be able to give it back to the project.
Do you get to charge for it again?
And the original scope, this was going to be faux painted to look like soapstone, but due to some budget conflict, it never happened. So hopefully this is going to be able to go in and have a working gas firebox installed in there, and then we'll be able to have the money to make it look like soapstone.
Well, a woman who volunteers for me is an incredible faux painter,
yeah.
Heather. Have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yes,
videos
I have.
with Heather.
Yeah.
That's her profession. Is.
But yeah, I still have all the knives and everything to make this. This was fun to make.
It's cool.
Back at home.
All right. Well, on the way back to the house, I'm going to drive by the customs house so I can show people exactly what you're talking about. So thanks for watching. As always, your support on YouTube means so much to us. You may not think about it, but every time you watch, we get paid a little bit of money. And all those little bits add up to quite a bit of money. For us, we're closing in on $150 a month, which doesn't seem like much, but if you multiply that times 12, which I can't do, 12 times 12 is $144,400 a year. So it's close to $1,600 a year. That's significant to us as a new nonprofit starting out. Plus, it helps get the word out about the house. So if you're watching and you've made it this far to the end, please consider sharing these videos with your friends, telling others about the house, and getting them on board watching. We would love to double our viewership for next year. But for now, thank you so much to those of you who are here with us today. And we will see you next time back in Galveston here at the League-Kempner House. That's the new symbol. It's the new symbol for the video is starting.